Agency owners, I legitimately just discovered a way to 2 to 3x your client retention. And I know it sounds like a big bold claim that the guru that you watched in the last YouTube video said, but I promise you I have the proof to back this up, and this will help you, and this could potentially change the game of your service delivery forever. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the video now. Okay. The unknown trick to 2 to 3x your SMMA client retention. Because remember, it's easier to keep a current customer than it is to go get a new one. Unless you're in the churn and burn business, okay? But we don't churn and burn here, right? Anyways, about a year ago, my lemon was juiced. I set up ads for my client, and they were doing well, until they weren't. I was targeting everyone within a 7-mile radius, so I set up the Facebook ad, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to work with everybody here, okay? And what ended up happening was the ads began to fatigue. Maybe you've experienced this before too. You set up ads, week 1, they're going great. Everything's all good. Week 2, they suck. That's what happened to me. Frequency, which is, how many times people were seeing this ad, went through the roof. And at that same time, my cost per lead soared. But despite this hiccup, about 2 weeks into servicing this new client, I ended up being able to serve this client for about 4 to 5 months. The question is how? Well, I came up with a little unknown trick to squeeze the lemon with Facebook ads, so I never had to suffer from bad results again. Introducing niche cycling. Okay, let me get into it for you. Okay, so I got my trusty dusty notepad out here, and I'm going to explain to you what niche cycling is and how you can do it in simplest terms for y'all, okay? So when we're looking at our target audience, or more specifically our client's target audience, we want to look at this as if it's a big piece of pie. And what most of you guys are doing is y'all are targeting the entire pie, okay? Now, although that might work well in the short term, in the long term, eventually all the people inside your pie, all the blueberries inside of your blueberry pie, have seen the offers before, okay? Eventually, it's their 17th time seeing your buy one, get one free, seeing your $4.97 detailing offer, okay? And so what happens in that case is your cost per lead goes up through the roof, and your client curses you out and churns your ass, okay? So we don't want either of those things to happen. And the ways to prevent this is, well, you do one of two things. You either go into the rat race of coming up with new offers and coming up with new creatives and being creative, and all this stuff every 3 days in order to constantly stay fresh, or you niche cycle, okay? And so what niche cycling is when you break your pie, right, your audience, into different segments. It can be 2 different segments, it can be 4 different segments, it can be 8 different segments. It doesn't matter. It depends on your offer. Depends on who you're serving, okay? And so an example of this in simplest terms is when you take the entire pie of, let's say a city, and instead of, just targeting people in the city, you break it up into 4 sub-niches, like saying, maybe male 25 to 40, male 40 plus, and then we got female 40 plus, and then female 25 to 40. And you create these 4 sub-niches within your target audience. And then what you do is you run ad number 1 for males 25 to 40. And then you run ad number 2 for males 40 plus once the first ad fatigues. So you set this up, right? You only target males 25 to 40 with ad number 1. You run that for 1, 2, 3 weeks. As soon as your cost per lead goes up, your frequency goes up, and you stop getting the results, then you go on to ad number 2, and you only target males 40 plus. And then you go ad number 3 for females 40 plus, and then ad number 4 for females 45 or 25 to 40. Now here's where the magic of niche cycling comes in, okay? So you want to look at this as, each one of these 4 subsections, you get 1 lemon per section, okay? So you go into ad number 1, you squeeze the lemon, and then eventually you run out of juice, okay? And then you go into ad number 2, you do the same. You go into ad number 3, you do the same. And you do ad number 4 and do the same. But what happens is by the time you've made it to ad number 4, right? This is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks since you first started with ad number 1. Well, guess what? a new lemon has grown for ad number 1. And you can go back to ad number 1 and retarget, males 25 to 40, and you got another lemon to squeeze. And by the time you've gone all the way around, well, then ad number 2 is also going to have a new lemon. And this is how you can never have to worry about, ads fatiguing again. Because you simply just move on to the next target audience until you make yourself all the way around. And by the time you've made yourself all the way around, well, your audience isn't fatigued anymore. They got a good night's sleep. They're ready to go again. Okay? So that is niche cycling at its core. Now, there's another magical thing that happens when you get into the world of niche cycling, and that is the concept of niche marketing. So, the second way that you will 2 to 3x your client retentions is because your marketing is now going to become so much more powerful and direct. So you will get a lot better results for your client, and so they will actually enjoy and profit off of your services. Okay? And here is why. If I was targeting Vancouver, which is roughly the city that I live in, okay, what would resonate more? Attention Vancouver or attention 25 to 40-year-old ladies in Vancouver? A 25 to 40-year-old lady is going to resonate with the second line here so much more than the first one. And because of that, your response rate is going to go up. You're going to get more leads because people are going to feel like whatever you are offering, whatever you are marketing, whatever your ad is about is specifically for them. So not only when you do this will you have to not worry about ads fatiguing, you're also going to get better results from the ads that you do run because they're more hyper-targeted to the audiences you are serving. And this is why niche cycling has the opportunity to legitimately 2 to 3x how long your clients will stay and how much they will pay you. Okay? So you need to start implementing this into your service delivery immediately. Okay? Last thing, I want to give you guys a quick reminder that I'm the opposite of this guy. This guy is not a guru. I am a guru. Okay? I only post money on here, or I only post content on here in hopes that one day you will give me your hard-earned money. But the good news is I don't want it yet, okay? So I personally make all my money when I get to partner with agencies doing 5K and beyond. And so my hope is that I can give you everything that you need for free in order to help you get to 5K. So when you get to that stage, we could possibly talk about a partnership at that point. And the way that I do this is, first of all, we have the RSC First Client Challenge. We're on to round 2 now. Round 1, we had the average person get their first client in 13.8 days, which personally I thought was pretty cool, right? The other thing that we have is the RSC Discord community where we do 2 calls a week helping you guys out in order to get your first client or your 200th client, okay? That one is definitely for anybody. Now, the last thing that I will say is that I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you took time out of your day to listen to a guy in a cowboy hat help you with your SMMA. And my only hope is that the guy in the cowboy hat gave you 10x the value that you had to invest, meaning your time, into watching this video. And if that is the case, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button, maybe even drop a comment below, because apparently that's supposed to help the YouTube algorithm. Okay? Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.